Hello everyone. In this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. In today's top stories, we'll give you updates on the Iran-Israel war or conflict. Up to this point, we will also update you on the protests taking place today, Saturday, June 14th, at 4 p.m. in Washington, D.C. The protest is against Field Marshal, who is currently visiting Washington, D.C. The Pakistani community is holding this protest in opposition to him. We'll inform you about who has arrived in D.C., from where, how many people are expected and what kind of protest it will be. Full details. There has also been a major fraud in US history and we'll update you briefly on that too. A few other news stories will be presented, but first, let's go to the updates on the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict. You already know the background. Israel launched an unprovoked attack on Iran, in which about 80 to 85 civilians were martyred and around 100 sites were attacked. Around 200 aircraft were used. In retaliation, Iran launched ballistic missile strikes. Their missiles did reach Tel Aviv, possibly for the first time in such numbers and with such effectiveness. We showed you some images from the ground earlier. Now we'll show you a few more coming in from Tel Aviv, Israel, where the destruction occurred. According to media reports, this is the first death reported in Israel, while 80 to 85 civilians died in Iran. On the other hand, Iran has now released video footage showing that they allegedly downed 2 Israeli F-35 fighter jets. There's also a claim that a female Israeli pilot has been captured by Iran. Iran says that they destroyed the aircraft and captured the pilots who ejected before impact. Iran has declared it will carry out more attacks. This isn't just an Iranian claim. US and other international intelligence and news agencies are also reporting that Iran is expected to launch further missile strikes. In Pakistan, we've seen people on social media comment on this. For instance, a journalist who works at Kuldi News, Umar Chima, who calls himself a progressive journalist, has tried to mock Iran by saying, "If you couldn't fight a war, why did you provoke one?" This reasoning is hard to understand because it wasn't Iran who provoked anyone. In the last year and a half, Iran has mostly tried to exercise restraint and avoid escalation. Iran clearly did not want this war. Even when negotiating over its nuclear program, Iran sat at the table with the United States to talk. During that exact time, these attacks were carried out against Iran. So to claim that Iran started this is utterly stupid. It shows no logic. Yes, one can express frustration over Iran's intelligence failures and how deeply Israel has penetrated Iran, which is frankly disturbing. Still, to mock Iran isn't justified. Even journalists like Wasim Badami, who ideologically aligns with Iran, said similar things, that Iran shouldn't have provoked a conflict without having the necessary technology. Although he didn't use the exact word provoke, that was the implication. People often overlook the fact that whenever Iran launches a missile, it must first pass through various layers of defense. For instance, if a missile is fired from Isfahan toward Israel, it first encounters American troops stationed in Iraq or the UAE. Then there are other countries' air forces. American warships in the Persian Gulf, like the USS Carl Vinson, equipped with advanced defense systems, attempt to intercept them. If the missile evades these, it must then bypass Jordan's air defense systems, which are also allied with Israel. Even then, it has to pass over Cyprus, where British Royal Air Force jets and systems are in place. Only if a missile survives all these interception layers can it reach Israeli territory. And you know, it's important to keep in mind, Iran made these missiles itself despite decades of sanctions. They weren't given by the United States or anyone else. So, if even a few Iranian missiles manage to hit Tel Aviv and cause destruction, it shows Iran's remarkable resilience and capability. Those mocking Iran at this moment are being unfair. Yes, Iran needs to seriously improve its intelligence apparatus. And yes, if Israel causes more destruction using advanced missile technology, it wouldn't be surprising because, frankly, the entire modern world stands with Israel while Iran stands alone. So mocking Iran isn't the right approach. Instead, the situation needs thoughtful analysis and understanding of the balance of power. As we record this vlog, we've just received news that Israel has launched a new attack likely on Tabriz, or a similarly named city, where an oil refinery was targeted. So far we don't have details on the extent of the damage, but this is Israel's latest strike. International media, including Fox News, has been covering this. One Fox correspondent said he has covered Israel for 7 years, but has never seen such intense missile activity or destruction in Israel before. Now, to say that Iran has devastated Israel would also be an exaggeration. As explained, Iranian missiles must pass through numerous layers of defense, and yet some manage to reach Tel Aviv. So far, Israel hasn't suffered significant or strategic damage, although there has been psychological impact and public panic. The fact that Iranian missiles reach Tel Aviv at all is noteworthy. But this should be seen in that context and not exaggerated further. This is a complex issue. To simplify it by saying Iran shouldn't have provoked a war if it couldn't respond is an unfair and simplistic judgment. The next update is that the Russian president has offered to mediate a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Let's see if either side accepts this mediation offer. It doesn't seem like Israel is interested in anything of the sort at this point. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister has stated that this is a great opportunity for the Iranian people to rise up against their government. Meaning, on one hand, Israel is carrying out military attacks, and on the other hand, in his speeches, he's inciting the Iranian public by saying, "You are unhappy with your government, it's not a good government, stand against it." Let's see how the Iranian public responds. Personally, I don't think the Iranian people, although they may be quite frustrated with their government, as people are everywhere, will rise up based on what the Israeli Prime Minister says. But let's see how things unfold in the coming days. Next story, the protest happening today in Washington, D.C. at 4 p.m. This protest is taking place in front of the Pakistani embassy and is expected to be one of the largest protests in Washington, D.C.'s recent history, if not the biggest, certainly among the major ones. The reason? Field Marshal Asim Munir is visiting Washington, D.C., and in his honor, meaning in protest of his actions, the public wants to openly express their opposition to the injustices he has committed in Pakistan. Pakistanis living in the United States, Canada and elsewhere do not support these actions and are taking a stand. People are traveling from other states and cities to join this protest. Our team from Florida and fellow citizens from there are on their way or have already reached Washington, D.C. Likewise, people from Canada, Michigan and other states are also arriving. Some driving 12, 16, even 20 hours just to be there. This shows a high level of commitment. Don't just listen and forget about it. Realize that people are traveling distances equivalent to driving from Peshawar to Karachi and back. Many are coming from places that far without even sleeping properly, driving all the way to DC. We welcome them all. We'll meet you there today. It's going to be a major protest. A large number of people are expected to attend. Once again, I appeal to you. If you're in or around Washington, D.C. and can attend, please do. The more people show up, the more united our voice will be. No, it's not like protesting today will push some magical button and produce instant results. That's not how history works, but when we raise our voices together, that is what living, conscious nations do. Just like when Gaza was being heavily bombed and innocent children were being massacred, even non-Muslims across Europe came out in protest, even in Scandinavia. Did their protests immediately stop the bombing? No. But they had to answer to their conscience and their God. Were they standing on the right side? Did they fulfill their duty? The results are in God's hands and only He knows when He'll give them, but today is your test. You must answer your conscience. Am I doing the right thing today or not? People always ask, what will come of it? The result is with God, and you don't know when it will come. But today, do your part. Put in your effort. So come in large numbers, as I said. People from Florida and other regions are already arriving or have arrived. In the next few hours, more will join. At 4 p.m. today, the protest will be held in front of the Pakistani embassy. God willing, we will meet you there. Now, the next big story is from the United States, and it is both shocking and interesting. This is about USAID. Two top officials from USAID, along with executives from three major companies, have been caught and charged with corruption. The amount involved is $550 million, more than $500 million. That's hundreds of billions in Pakistani rupees, at least around 200 billion PKR, if I'm not mistaken. These corruption allegations were announced by the Department of Justice on June 12th. One USAID official, Roderick Watson, has admitted to accepting bribes. The three corporate executives from large firms have pleaded guilty to being part of a fraud and bribery scheme involving 14 contracts worth $550 million. Watson received cash, laptops, plane tickets, NBA game tickets, used bribe money for country club weddings, made down payments on 2 residential mortgages, and accepted cell phones and jobs for relatives. He committed all kinds of corruption. If you think corruption only happens in Pakistan, no, it happens here too. But here, people get punished when they are caught. So, yes, this USAID official, Roderick Watson, and the 3 executives have been caught and admitted guilt. President Trump had long claimed, and Elon Musk too, that USAID was a hub of corruption and that its funding should be stopped. You may remember, Trump suspended USAID funding, although later a US court issued a stay order. Now this scandal gives Trump and his allies a fresh opportunity to attack USAID again, saying, "See, we were right all along." Also, Nawaz Sharif has finally spoken. You'll remember when India attacked Pakistan and over 100 Pakistanis were martyred, he remained silent, unlike now, where around 80 to 85 were martyred in Iran. Apparently, Nawaz has now tweeted a message condemning the violence in Iran. It's unclear whether the tweet is new or old, but at least he said something. However, he didn't speak up when it was about Pakistan. Next story, an Air India flight bomb threat. You might already know about a previous Air India flight that crashed in Ahmedabad with 242 people on board. 241 of them died and 30 to 40 people on the ground were also killed when the plane crashed. Now there's another incident, a flight from the Thai island Phuket. The flight was reported to have a bomb threat. It was Air India flight AI-379, carrying 156 passengers. The plane was quickly turned back. Upon search, no bomb was found. In my opinion, this was likely a false alarm, as Air India is already traumatized from the earlier crash. This just adds to their problems. Next, a very interesting statement from Rana Sanaullah. He said, "There are things in the budget that even the government doesn't agree with." Rana Sahib, this isn't anything new. There are many things in your government you don't agree with. For instance, Mohsin Naqvi, you clearly don't align with him. Regarding the budget, it's the same old joke. Zardari Sahib once told Shahbaz Sharif, "You didn't consult us on the budget," and Shahbaz replied, "They didn't consult me either. Everyone knows the reality. You're just there to polish the boots." Field Marshal Chaudhry Nizamuddin is the one running everything. Whether you say something or not, we already know your say doesn't really matter. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.